いつになったらアニスは唇にしてくれるようになるんでしょうね。
知らない。
遅れますよ、アニス。
The story of the magical revolution and the reincarnated princess, it's come to a close. We have episode 12, and I was struggling to think of how to really start this video, how we can talk, and I think I'm going to start it this way and just say, at the end of the day, I think that there are some things about the anime that I didn't like or wasn't a fan of. And I will be talking about those things in this video. But if anything, if there's any takeaway, is I think that this anime was incredible. I think there was a lot of passion put on the pages for this anime. I think the story of Anis and Yuffie is gorgeous, and it was powerful. And I think that the last episode really invoked a lot of feeling, with me especially. Like, it really got me, it got me to cry like twice, okay? And I hold no qualms by saying I'm a big teddy bear man who can easily cry. But, I think the couple of different times here that I really want to call out, and I want to make sure that I make this a point at the beginning of the video, because like I said, there are some things that I wish were a little different in the story, but the couple of things I really want to call out is, like, when Yuffie finally, it's like Yuffie's the one that makes the move, right? And her and Anis share a really intimate moment where Anis finally tells Yuffie of her past. She bears all, and she tells her the secret that she's never told anybody, which is about her reincarnation and stuff. And in that moment, she was very vulnerable, and they share this really intimate moment. And Yuffie goes in for the kiss, and she kisses Anis. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was satisfaction. Maybe it was like a moment of like, oh, finally. Maybe it was the moment that kind of like led up to, to the kiss. But like, I was like, wow. Like, I don't know. It got me to tear up. Like, I don't know. It was just, it's really hard to explain, because it's like, oh, well, it's just a kiss or whatever. And, tons of different intimate scenes happen in anime a lot, or in media. But it was just something about the way that it was perfectly directed, animated, displayed to us, that this show of affection, it just felt like this bottle. It was like a bottle of affection that finally spilled over. And I don't know, it just made me like incredibly happy and emotional. And I just thought that it was just such a beautiful moment. Then they obviously followed it up with something that rarely happens especially in Yuri anime. Is it hints that they got even more intimate after that. And I'm not gonna I don't have to go into detail. You can put two and two together, but that is something the kiss for one. Typically in Yuri anime, we never even get that, right? We might get like a hint, but we never really get that. And shit, in a lot of anime, we don't even get that. Just even not being Yuri, just being like traditional, we don't get that. And then for them to kind of take it a step and basically say, hey, they took their intimacy to the max level after that. It's like, wow. Like, that doesn't happen very often. So, that was something that I was really appreciative as well. Especially if you guys are familiar with the channel and how I review stuff here. It's like, I'm always a stickler about, like, okay, well, why don't you ever kind of, like, we don't need to see anything. Just this beautifully written and a little subtle hint that, hey, like, they took their relationship to that next level. We don't need to get anything more than that. Like, we're all, for the most part, there's some people who are younger adults who are watching this, but for the most part, we're all older. We don't need to be shown anything. We know, so it's like, okay, that was a beautiful thing. And I was like, that is something that separates this anime immediately for me. It puts it among the top, so I think that, from like a fantasy anime standpoint, like, this definitely like catapulted to the top when you put when you put romance, when you put fantasy and romance, I think this kind of like puts it to the top of that category for me. And of course you have the Yuri aspect, but like I hate honing in and just trying to compartmentalize it into like, oh, it's just Yuri. It's like, no, this is a fantasy isekai romance anime that just so happens to be Yuri. You know what I mean? So it's like I think this just catapults it for me personally. Second moment is they're talking about like, wow, like, I think the moment that hit me during that scene too is she talks about how Anis was the greatest magician to her, like the magic she pulled. Like I'm getting emotional just thinking about the moment, so I'm gonna stop doing that. But then I think the second thing is at the end of the episode, right? They put their swords together, celestial sword and the arc. I can't even say it. 𝐜𝐴𝐶𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥, basically the rainbow in the sky. And Anis claims that she will forever put all of her energy into figuring out how she could become immortal as well, and figure out how she can stay together with Yuffie forever. And again, that moment got me to like just feel really emotional again. And again, all these emotions that it pulls out of me and you as the viewer are all things that can be attested to great writing, direction, just all of it. And I was like, wow, that was just another moment for me, for like an emotional level to see like, okay, like we got here. Last couple of things that I'll really touch on, as far as emotion wise, is I love seeing the king, or I like seeing Anis's dad and his wife, Garden. He's finally able to realize his dreams a lot earlier because, man, he's pretty young. He's probably 10 years of my senior, so not that old. And the fact that he's now able to live out his dream as well by passing on the baton, I was like, that's fantastic. Then the episode ended with, or like, towards the end of the episode was how Anis is still adjusting to this love and kissing Yuffie. And I just love again how Yuffie is kind of the aggressor in this, and she like, Anis goes for the kiss on the cheek. Yuffie goes in full tilt, like, you kissing me, girl. And I was like, I love that as well. So overall, I mean, damn, like it's almost a masterpiece to me. Like this is like easy 9 out of 10. Again, in the last couple of minutes, I'm gonna take up of your time. I'm gonna talk about some things that I wish were a little different, and some criticisms I have. But honestly, 9 out of 10 anime easy for me. Like this was such a out of nowhere, out of left field, incredible story. And I've just really loved it, and I've been on here for the ride. So if you click off now, just know 9 out of 10. All right, let me take up your last 60 seconds, and just kind of culminate everything, that we've talked about the anime and everything else. So let me talk about some criticisms I have. So ultimately, the battle between Yuffie and Anis occur. Yuffie ends up winning because she culminates all of her powers into one shot. Anis doesn't reflect it based on two things. One, potential to maybe not be able to. And second, she was just in such awe of this gorgeous magic in front of her. Okay, I understand that, no problem. So Yuffie wins this battle. My major gripe with this whole entire thing is what happens afterwards, which is basically Yuffie... It's basically Yuffie taking Anis's thoughts, ideas, and putting them into action. And one part of me gets it. Yuffie is more aggressive and smart, to be honest. But, like, there is nothing I saw occur that I didn't feel could occur with Anis being queen. Like, I really feel in my heart of hearts, and I know that the story tried to convey to us that only Yuffie could do this, but I really feel like Anis could have grown a pair, and I really feel like she could have made the things that Yuffie began to make happen. And if she wants to be, how do you say it? If she wants to be something that's non-traditional, She could have just said she's my second in command, she's my queen, she's my partner, whatever. She could have just made Yuffie her partner in this, right? And they could have still began to do the legislation and the ideas and the magic and the nullification, like all these things that I didn't see anything happen that couldn't have happened if Annis was queen, and Yuffie wouldn't have had to give up her humanity to do it with doing the spirit contract and stuff. The second problem I have, and I know I'm grossly over on time, so I'm going to take up one more minute. The other problem I have is the dad stepped down as the king. Okay, well, he's still young. He's in his 40s. He could be king for another 20 years if he wanted to, while enacting a lot of these modes or motives that his now 2 daughters want to do. That was another problem. The other one is where the F is L. Al could have easily, been brought back into the mix somehow. So there's that as well. So it's like, okay, well, where's Al in all of this as well? Like, he could have been pushed back into the mix some way, somehow. But the anime just said, hey, Al, he dead. Forget about him. So that was another problem that I have as well. I could probably talk for another 10 minutes on this. I won't take up any more time. There's a lot of other things I want to talk about, but let me just say this again. 9 out of 10 anime. It's incredible. It does have its faults. It's not perfect by any means. There's a lot of things I would love to have seen different. There's a lot of things that I would like to give more opinion on. I won't. I'll hold them inside. If you want to talk to me about them in the comments, throw down a comment down below. Let me know your final thoughts, and just thank you being here all season long for the Magical Revolution of Reincarnated Princess. It was an incredible ride. I'll see you guys in the spring. Peace.